Hi everyone, I'm Lise from Experiential Mindfulness Melbourne. I help people manage and reduce stress so they can have more peace, calm and joy in their lives. So today I'm going to talk to you about how mindfulness can help you reduce anxiety. So we can all have anxiety at times, but some people experience anxiety more consistently than others. So that used to be the case for me. Because I grew up in an environment that was quite negative, I ended up having a lot of anxiety. I didn't feel very safe, and basically I have anxiety as far back as I can remember. I've had anxiety. So when you experience a lot of anxiety on a daily basis, then when there are events, new situations, we all feel some nervousness or anxiety, for example, in new situations, if we have to speak in public, if we're not used to doing it, or if we do something totally new, if we got a job interview, that's totally normal. But if you experience a lot of anxiety already in your everyday life, then it could be really crippling when you are in new situations. So anxiety it can make you feel very nervous, tense and really overwhelmed. Anxiety is linked usually about thinking about the future, worrying about what might or might not happen. And anxiety is felt in the mind as well as in the body. So people can have different symptoms, but you can have physical sensations. It could be like sweating or feeling dizzy, muscle tension, or it can feeling the heart beats really fast. They might have problems sleeping as a result. It can also be a chest pain. For me, it's always been feeling a tightness in the chest that intensifies depending on the level of anxiety and the situation. So for me, it was very overwhelming at times, and as I said, quite crippling. And I was able, through mindfulness, I was able to learn to manage anxiety differently. So even though, there's still situations that I feel anxious, and sometimes it still happens, on a day-to-day basis, just because I'm thinking some things about the future, or worrying about something. But now through mindfulness I'm able to deal with it differently, so that I don't feel overwhelmed by it, which is the key, is be able to do something different. And for a long time, I couldn't even speak in public. I couldn't speak in front of a group because there was so much anxiety there. And anxiety is also very linked to lack of self-confidence and low self-esteem, because I had that. Therefore, I could experience really strong anxiety. And over time, this has shifted. So I'll just tell you then, how did mindfulness help me? So by being able to, first of all, to be more present, to be more in tune with what's going on in my mind and body. So to be able to connect with the breath, to be able to just take time out to be in the present moment and welcome the thoughts, but let them go, becoming the observer, the watcher of my thoughts and emotions. Through mindfulness practice, you also learn to trust yourself and know yourself better. And that's something that certainly has happened to me as well. I used to really not know myself at all. I really didn't trust my own judgment, whereas now it's so much better. So also by becoming aware of the kind of thoughts that can generate or make anxiety worse. As usual, you need to become aware before you can do anything differently. It's also, for me, about accepting that, anxiety is there. There's a feeling of anxiety in the moment, rather than struggling against it. When we have experienced emotions that we feel are unpleasant, and certainly anxiety can be, then we tend to want to push it away, struggling against it, saying, oh well, I really don't want this to be there, even giving ourselves a hard time for being anxious in that situation. And as you know, that doesn't work. It of course gives you more anxiety. So, well, accepting that it's there, that's also a very important step. And facing it rather than running away from it, then avoiding it. So that's the opposite of what we tend to do, but in fact that doesn't work really well. So actually it's dealing with it rather than pulling away from it. So there's a little practice that you can do. Is first to name, so when you do feel some anxiety, just name it. Just tell yourself, I notice that there is a feeling of anxiety, and say where it is. So it could be in the center of my chest, or it could be you might be feeling in other ways. So it's about naming that and locating where it is in the body. And then just take a few slow deep breaths, and as you do that, just accept that this is there right now, that this feeling is there right now, and that it's okay. Not actually trying to change it, just staying with it, observing the sensations, just breathing in and out the sensations in the body associated with that feeling of anxiety. And just then stay with it and notice as the sensations shift and turn into something else. And let go of the thoughts. When thoughts come in, just gently let them go without judgment and bring yourself back to observing the sensations. So that's, of course, it becomes easier. The more you practice mindfulness, the easier it will be for you to do this kind of exercise. And for you to it'd be easier for you to have less anxiety and manage anxiety differently. So as I said, it doesn't mean that I'm never anxious. No, in fact, I'm anxious right now, because for me doing Facebook Live is still something fairly new, and therefore I do feel a feeling of anxiety, but I'm able to deal with it differently. I'm able to stay with it. I'm also able to reframe. So when now when I talk in public or the feelings of anxiety come, but now I'm able to also reframe, shift the focus rather than thinking about, oh my God, what people are going to think of me, and it's all about me. It's about saying, okay, well, I want to, help people with what I do. This is what I'd like to do for others. And I found that's made actually big difference for me in terms of, dealing with anxiety, was speaking in public or speaking on Facebook Live. Okay, so that's it for me today. I thought that was helpful. So I'm actually going to be doing Facebook Live now every Monday at 6:30 p.m. So hopefully it'll become second nature for me. And so I hope you'll be able to join me. And if you'd like to find out more about how I can help you manage anxiety and have less anxiety and stress in your life, then PM me. Feel free to contact me also via my website. So I'll see you next Monday. Bye.